Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This week's video is actually a little bit different because it's a commission or a custom order. So this piece won't be for sale. It belongs to a customer of mine. She wanted some colour injected into it and she has definitely come to the right place. So this piece has sentimental value to my customer. However, she just finds it a little bit dark and dreary for her style. So she came to me to inject a little bit of colour into this piece. She also wanted it painting green, which was music to my ears because you all know how much I love green. Last week's video, I spoilt you with a little bit of purple and a little bit different. We're going back to green on this one, and I think it really will suit the dresser perfectly. So before I do anything to this piece, my customer has asked for this top to look a little bit more natural and not as dark. So I'm not going to sand it because it's very likely to be veneer. I'm 99% sure that this is a veneered piece. The varnish has already started to come off a little bit in places with a little bit of water damage and wear and tear. So I'm going to use a chemical stripper to see if I can lift this dark varnish off. I really dislike using chemical stripper for some reason. It just annoys me because it's so messy and ugh. Anyway, needs must on certain projects. So this is an eco-friendly chemical stripper. I'm just applying it quite liberally with a chip brush, and then I covered it with some plastic wrap. I got in a right mess with the plastic wrap. I was trying to rush and do 1,000 things at once, as per usual. It was a little bit faffy, but kind of managed it at the end. Anyway, once the wrap was in place and covered up the entire top, that's just going to stop the chemical stripper from drying out. You don't have to use a piece of plastic wrap if you don't want to. I just knew I was going to walk away from it and I didn't want it to dry out. So once it's done its thing, obviously all chemical strippers are slightly different, so just follow the instructions on the bottle. Once it had done its thing, I then removed the dark varnish with a sharp scraper, and what I find cleans up the kind of residue left over, because there will be some residue left over, is Scrubby Soap. So this is like a bar of soap with a abrasive scrubby kind of built into it. And I've just got a little bit of warm water in a bucket. I kind of soap it up a little bit first, so there's some obviously product that's kind of sooty on the sponge, and then just scrub the entire top, and that gets rid of that kind of sticky leftover residue that you get with chemical stripper. Just gave it a wipe down with a rag, and then finally went in with Dixie Belle's White Lightning cleaner to make sure there's no soapy residue left on the surface, and then completely left it to dry before the next day giving it a very light sand. I also reduced the kind of speed of the sander as well, right down, because again, I didn't want to go through the veneer, but it did need a light sand just to get rid of those kind of last little bits. The handles needed to be removed on this because I'm actually going to be spray painting them gold, but there was no screw holes on the inside of the drawers like there normally is. And I figured out that the entire front of the drawer had to come off in order to get the handles. So if you ever see a bureau like this, just know that you can take the handles off, but you have to take the front piece of wood off the front of the drawer first. And I realise I've just said bureau, I actually meant dresser. You all know what I meant anyway. So for the rest of the piece, I'm going to give it a clean with Dixie Belle's White Lightning. I'm going to scrub this all over to make sure there's no residue of any cleaning products or any polish. The dresser is actually in immaculate condition. I am going to give it a light scuff sand first just to make sure we're working on a nice smooth finish, and I also want to just break the finish of that really kind of glossy varnish that's on there as well. To chalk paint over the top of most surfaces, a light scuff sand is not always required. However, it's just something that I like to do just to make sure I get a nice lasting durable finish. As you can see, the varnish on this is quite dark and I don't want that to leach into the paint that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use a 2-in-1 water-based primer. This is called Bond Emboss and it's from Dixie Belle Paint. I'm going to link all of the products that I use in the description below. along with all the colours and everything, so that if you did want to check them out, you can click on those links. That will take you to the Dixie Belle website. If you shop from there, I earn a small commission, but it won't cost you a penny more. So this is a water-based 2-in-1 primer. It blocks stains and it also provides adhesion. So I'm going to use it mainly for the stain blocking abilities on this piece, because like I say, this dark coloured varnish is quite bad for bleed through, and I don't want that to happen. So you can also use it for adhesion, like I say. So if you're painting a very glossy, shiny finish, or glass, metal, plastic, laminate, or if you've got a piece of wooden furniture that has a very high shine, glossy lacquer finish, you can use it for adhesion as well. You just need to apply 2 coats of this, leave it to dry for 24 hours, and then you can go ahead and apply your paint. So my customer has chosen a mid-toned green. It's quite a punchy shade, very bold colour, but I think it's really going to suit this. I mean, I'm biased because green's my favourite colour to paint in anyway, so you can't really get it wrong if you ask me. And this one's called English Ivy. It's a Dixie Belle Chalk mineral paint. And as you can see, I'm just applying a very light spritz of water as I'm going over it. This is the top section, by the way, and this has had exactly the same prep work with the cleaning, the light scuff sand, and then the 2 coats of the clear primer. You can see it's kind of got a hazy, kind of dull finish to it. That's the colour, or the effect, I should say, that the clear primer gives. It's kind of like a rough, kind of hazy finish. So it's had that, and it's been left for 24 hours, and then I went ahead and applied 2 coats of this colour over the top. And I just like to work in small sections so that my paint doesn't dry down too quickly. I just whack my paint on and then really lightly smooth over the paint, or lay it off with very light feathery brush strokes. Where there's detail on this piece, such as the bit that I'm doing now and on the door fronts, I use a little bit more water than usual, just so that the paint gets into all the nooks, crannies and details, but doesn't kind of gloop it up and cover it up. And I'd rather do 3 thin coats of paint and make sure those details really pop and don't kind of gloop them up with paint, rather than try and cover it in less. So obviously this video has been edited down to just be, you know, a 12-minute video, and there's lots of bits that I haven't included or that I've edited out. For example, the doors were removed and painted separately just so that I could get a nice clean finish. But what I did want to show you was the top of this piece. So this is a veneered wood, and all that means is it's a thin piece of wood glued over the top of the framework of this piece. So this is, I believe, oak veneer, and I just wanted to make the oak a little bit more even, and also just tone it down ever so slightly, because this at the moment, where I just sprayed water on, is the colour that it would go if I just applied a top coat straight over the top of it, which is quite an orangey tone. To eliminate the orange tones in the wood, I'm going to use a water-based wood stain. This is called Voodoo Gel Stain, and it's in the shade Tobacco Road. And I'm just going to start by spraying my surface with a little bit of water, and then applying a thin coat of this wood stain over the top. The water just helps your wood stain apply evenly. I usually use a bit of water for the first coat, for the first application, when your wood is super dry, because that way you just get a nice even coverage of wood stain. I actually did 2 thin coats of this, just to make sure I had a nice even coverage, and then left it to dry. Once it was dry, it's time to top coat it for durability, and I just like to give it a very, very light sand with 220 grit sandpaper before I go in with my top coat. I'm actually going to use Dixie Belle's Gator hide for this, which is their most durable top coat. But the first thing I'm going to do is apply a coat of Satin clear coat first. The reason I'm going to do this is because Dixie Belle's Gator hide is sometimes, especially when you apply it over the top of a dry surface like this wood, it can sometimes grab on and be a little bit hard to eliminate any brush strokes or streakiness. This formula I'm using now, the Satin clear coat, is a gel formula which has a little bit longer open time, meaning you can work with it before it starts to dry. So I'm going to apply 1 coat of this super thin coat and let it dry. Once the satin is dry, then I'm going to go in with my Gator hide, and this will now just glide over the top of the clear coat satin, and it won't try and cling on to the dry wood and give you any kind of patchiness. So in total, I did another 2 coats of Gator hide, so 3 coats of Gator hide in total. That's going to give me maximum durability. The thing that I'm applying it with is called a Foam and Dandy pad, Foam and Dandy applicator pad, or Foam and Dandy brush, and it's basically a foam pad on a brush handle, and it doesn't give you any brush strokes because there are no bristles. It's a foam pad, and I find them really effective for using with top coats. I'm not a top coat person as such. I use a lot of waxes in my painting, so I find that these do give the kind of best flawless finish. And for the rest of the piece, I'm going to use wax. So I'm just going to use clear wax. We're not doing any kind of decorative waxing on this piece at all. So wax is a product that you kind of need to work into the paint a little bit. It just gives a really nice luster and depth to the paintwork. I really like the finish that wax gives. So I spoke to my customer about it, and they agreed that the rest of the piece was going to be waxed, and then obviously the top was going to be the varnish for the kind of the durability, which is where, you know, products are going to be placed. So I apply my wax with a sponge. Some people use a brush, and I do sometimes use a brush if there's a lot of detail on a piece, but for flat surfaces like this, I like to apply it with a sponge because you get a nice even coat. It doesn't give you any streakiness or brush strokes, and I like to kind of rub it in circular motions and just work in small areas, and then again kind of going all in one direction when I've applied that thin coat, just to make sure it's nice and smooth and even. Obviously you do have to buff your wax off with a rag. I didn't film that bit because we were against time, and I also did a couple of other finishing off touches to this piece. The whole entire thing was cleaned inside out. The back was waxed with Big Mama's butter. I also changed the handles to gold, but obviously we can only film so much in that short amount of time, and I was thinking that I needed to get this piece back to my customer, which I did yesterday. Here's a few close-ups of the finished piece. I'm glad to say that she was very, very pleased with the final look. I think this green looks absolutely stunning on this piece. I think she made the absolute right decision, and I'm really pleased with the outcome. As always, thank you for tuning in and watching the video. I hope you found it useful. Make sure, if you're not already, to hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!